As promised, I'm giving you The Wanderer versus Inferno. Yeah, I, I'm usually recording this 2 minutes after I made the last video because it's past 11 p.m. And after that, I use 2 videos per day with a party. But yeah, tomorrow's the last day. I was gonna make another versus video today, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm doing this. Now, this is actually gonna be kind of hard for me because I have to be scaring my own characters for once. I know how powerful he is by the end of his story, and he would absolutely murk everyone in the saga, even if with their highest rank of multi-continental. Yes, you can rank him to multi-continental. I didn't cover last episode because it didn't feel like covering the links between Iron Man Planetary and multi-continental saga-verse. I could if you want me to, but I'm going to be covering consistent ends today, okay? And feats. So basically, episode 1 of the saga, because that's the only episode the Wanderer's in, and episodes 1, 3, and 4 of the Fallen Kingdom. I mean, Inferno is in episode 2, but he kind of does nothing. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to scaling. And why not let's start with my character? I covered the saga last episode, so start with mine. Now with his feats, he no-sells a couple, like, blocks of TNT, but that was pretty far away from him when he was doing it. Well, yes, he was in creative, so technically he can't die, but this is just so the pillagers wouldn't attack me. He's canonically supposed to be able to survive this. So, yeah. And also, one thing I want to say actually, because Ethan's the only one I was able to say this to. The TNT and Flint and Steel he has, unlike with the Wanderer, that isn't weapons he's having. This guy's meant to have fire powers and explosion powers. So the TNT's supposed to weapons and his explosions, and Flint and Steel is fire. So yeah, those aren't weapons he has, those are his actual powers. And the fire resistance, when he does have it, is supposed to represent his powers, because that's fire power, so he's immune to fire in the lava. So yeah. But the TNT explosions is exactly as powerful how his normal explosions are, so yeah. And like I said, the last episode, the TNT explosion can get anywhere from building level of zero point 0.4 tons of TNT to 138 tons of TNT or multi-city block. I'll be using multi-city block for this. So yeah, he'll be multi-city block level per explosion. And as we see in episode 3, he has 128 explosions he can do before he runs out. So yeah, that'll be over town levels of energy he can generate. But if we want to use his actual health bar, in episode 3, we see in episode 3 he has 2 bars of health. It actually tested it, and this is funny. I will have him stood on top of a block in TNT, and it took off exactly 1 bar of health. So he's technically his destructive capability or DC outweighs his AP, but his AP would be equal to 2 blocks of TNT, I guess. Which is about equal to 276 tons of TNT or multi-city block level. So just pick your poison from multi-city block to town level. And as we see literally right here, he can easily destroy an iron golem. And I actually tested it, and he can destroy up to 3 at once. And the iron golem has 100 health, and the max amount of damage TNT can do is 65 damage. So do that with our 138 tons of TNT here. And, well, you can do the math. An iron golem is equal to 212 tons of TNT or multi-city block level. Times that by 3. That means Inferno, this guy here, is equal to 636.92 tons of TNT. Which is also multi-city block. Yeah. And also, by the way, his fire canonically that he's using right now is over 1,000 degrees. So if you use that amount of like thermal energy, they'll be generating some fine like city block to higher ends of power. So yeah, pretty good, pretty strong. I can't scale him to a warden because he's not strong enough to be a warden on his own in this form. I'll give you a spoiler where he's heavily holding back his power, but with the power you guys seen, he can't kill a warden at all. Can he kill a Wither? I don't know, maybe. And if you wanted to do that, Withers are canonically city level threats in your, meaning that it's possibly city level. So yeah, does I want to scale him that high normally? Because then you could possibly scale him off of the Ender Dragon. And if you scale him off of the Ender Dragon, then he's automatically at least a universal threat. Yes, I mean it, a universal threat. But Ender Dragon can get well above multiversal if you want him to. And that's stronger than I even planned like the strongest characters in this verse being. Yeah, like him alone, not even planetary threat, yet a own multiversal threat. So I'm gonna cap on my like multi-city block to like town level. And at most, if you want to use the river scaling, I could say he's possibly city level currently. So yeah. Now with speed, again, it's Minecraft, so they can dodge arrows that's like subsonic plus at most. But you can get higher because as you can see, he has potion effects, and he has speed 4, meaning he's 6.2 times faster than an average player. So let's just say he's like 6.2 times faster reaction wise. So use 300 miles per hour of arrows, times it by 6.2. If that's 1,860 miles per hour, or that's about Mach 2.42. That's subsonic, almost subsonic. I mean, that's supersonic, almost supersonic plus, but that's supersonic levels of speed. So yeah, he's actually pretty fast. Well, mostly. Most verses are faster than him, but he's also faster than like half of verses too. He's like as fast as consistent versions of a boys, basically. And he could canonically run at like 20 meters per second. I was gonna upscale him off of other guys, like this guy that we see in episode 3 and 4. But as you saw, he died to a TNT explosion. Of course, not canon. But yeah, he would have multi-city block level power, and that's like it. He's barely as strong as an Iron Golem. So yeah, that's about as high as you could get to. I could have thought of other scaling, like scaling to Abyssal that we heard, not even saw heard, in the beginning of episode 4, but I can think of scaling change of that. You guys have no way of knowing how strong he is, and I'm not gonna spoil it yet, cause that will get him pretty high. Abyssal kind of scales off of him, but this guy does also have this guy has access to an ability currently that is Yard's Island level. Like, straight up. Yo end small town, mid end like Sidious, and high end island to Yard's Island level. But you guys haven't seen that ability yet because you haven't had to use it yet. You guys should first see it in episode 6, but I don't want to spoil what it is, so I'll cap its power at like city level currently. His speed at subsonic plus. Even though that feat can get him anywhere from Mach 289 to 5,783, which is massively hypersonic to massively hypersonic levels of speed with that feat, because characters scale to it. But if you want to use it, sure. But I'm only going to using the stuff he's shown so far to prevent spoiling for you guys. So city level, if not consistently multi-city block. Now where are the saga scale inverse? Well, if you saw the last video that Yidri posted, actually it hasn't been posted yet, then well, then you would know that it's actually pretty close. With his first feat, the Wanderer burnt down the entire forest. I know he only burnt down one section, but canonically he burnt down the forest. Which using Java and how hard that is, that amount of thermal energy will get to multi-city block. The level is a power, about 650 something tons of TNT it was. And then later on, he destroys two villages. With the amount of how big each one is, that would require at least 101 to 460 tons of TNT to destroy each one. Doubling it would be 202 to 910 tons of TNT, meaning he could get into the multi-city block plus ends of power. So yeah, pretty good. Well, it's decent enough, I guess. For the boys, it definitely is. Or you could say you place over 50 blocks of TNT for like each one. And since a single block is multi-city block level, then well, he would have placed small town levels of TNT per block and town levels, including both villages. And since he's above the TNT blocks, he'll be town level, straight up there. So yeah, that's pretty good ends of speed for him. I mean, ends of power. But if you want to get higher, it's not even applied actually. It's outright told to us that Kinetic, the main character, survived the explosion of the kingdom, the Rainbow Kingdom, which what was it? I generally forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, the explosion got to town level. By the way, yeah, is how it's told from us from the main flippin' villain that he survived that explosion. So yeah, he'll be town level, and there's higher ends for this one too. And you can't even say town level is inconsistent because you don't see how big the explosion is. I mean, how big the kingdom is, or the explosion, to be honest. So you could even say it's the high ends of like town to yard's town level. The Wanderer can most likely one-shot him, giving him yard's town level power, and actually the high end is mountain to yard's mountain level, which will give him island level power. It's not applied phase any stronger than a one shot. So island level is his cap and yard's town level like bare minimum. If you want to say you can blow up the entire forest too, which you could do with TNT, that would be a yard's town level feat of 565 kilotons. But bare minimum, he's equal to anywhere from 250 kilotons to like 50 something gigatons. Yards town to island level. And with speed, again, we can dodge arrows so that's subsonic plus at most. If one use the speed after reboot, they can possibly get to like the hypersonic ends of speed, but that's about it. So yeah, who wins? I generally feel like I'm forgetting a feat, but yeah. Who wins? That's actually an interesting question. If you want to use the yo ends, then they're both actually pretty consistent. They both have feats that'll get them into that multi-city block to town level ranges there pretty comfortably. So yeah, and they both upscale characters, which one of them's multi-city block level, but another one could be like town level. So yeah. But yeah, they both upscale characters. One of them is stronger than the other though. But yeah. Yo end to yo end, they're very consistent. But if you use mid end to mid end, it'll be yards town versus yards town versus town level. Meaning, if you use the mid ends, well, yeah, the obvious part is power 2 if you have real ice. But if you use mid end to mid end, the Wanderer's actually a bit stronger than him, actually. His power cap at like yards town level. And, Inferno's power is town level. Yeah. it shouldn't be like hundreds of times stronger, but it's more than enough for a one shot difference. But Inferno's advantage in speed could make up for that gap because Inferno is actually is over 6 times faster than the Wanderer, while the Wanderer is over 20 times stronger. So the Inferno will be blitzing around him, which makes sense because he is a ninja, which the pillagers are supposed to be ninja by the way if you haven't realized that. Well, even though he'll be blitzing around him, if you use mid-ends, the Wanderer is going to like one-shot him. While if you use high-end to high-end, then well, it's island level versus about city level. Yeah, island is a heck of a lot higher than city. Like, actually, it's at least hundreds of times higher. At least hundreds. No, at least like 100 actually. Actually, at least it's dozens to hundreds of times higher, I would say, yeah. Possibly thousands if you like the lowest to highest. But basically, he would be over 100 times stronger than him if you use high ends. Now, like the 6 times speed advantage doesn't mean anything because if you're butching around him, well, it doesn't matter because he can one shot you. And also, even though we saw Inferno flying, he wasn't actually supposed to fly. I just did that because I missed the teleporter, the Ender Pearl. So yeah, Inferno can't fly, the Wanderer definitely can, as you can see. And the Wanderer seems to have infinite amount of TNT, while Inferno has 2 stacks at his disposal. So yeah, if that's meant to be the number of shots you have. Now, for abilities, we know Inferno has regeneration. Does the Wanderer have regeneration? Unknown, I would say no. But Inferno does have regeneration. He has the equivalent of regeneration 3, by the way. So he regenerates pretty fast. So yeah. But it's probably not fast enough to turn around the stomp. The only thing I have to say is he has resistance 3. So he will just ignore 60% of a punch. But he's still taking 40% of it. And each one of his punches is probably still about multi-city block. So he's still taking about a multi-city block levels of power every punch. Well, there's nothing to city level, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to do something against that. Ooh, city level against Iron and Wind level is still gonna be pretty hard to get by. Pretty hard to get by. And why is it so blurry? Fixed it. But yeah, the Wanderer still beat him there. The only way you can argue him to beat the Wanderer if you use the after reboot Wanderer, which there he's possibly city level, so the Wanderer might be on par with him. Or if you use high ends, but more consistently, he's like in that multi-city block to maybe small town levels of power. So if you use after reboot, Inferno, like with mid ends, should stomp the Wanderer, and high ends, no chance, even with the Wanderer's high ends. And if you use pre-reboot, the Wanderer wins. The speed advantage isn't helping him, even with his sword. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see y'all next time.